Welcome to the Business Awareness Hour with Norman, the Awareness Guy. Now, let's start the show.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Awareness Hour. My name is Norman Wasserman, also known as the Awareness Guy, and also as the Music Man. And Music Man we'll discuss later on. And my co-host, Linda Grace Farley.
Hello, Norm. How are you today?
Linda Grace Farley, who's had an exciting week so far this week. Business.
Oh, without a doubt, Norm. It's
right?
been, yeah.
So good stuff. You want to just, sneak a peek to the folks listening in?
Do I want to sneak a peek?
Yeah, tell everybody a little bit about what you're doing.
Oh, well, my angel alert. There she is. My angel alert is making headway down here in Florida. I was doing so many demos to different people that I met at different events that, and it just kept, it was amazing to me that it just continued. So, yeah, I'm getting very accustomed to that.
We're going to have some time later on, hopefully. If not, we're going to have a separate date, given the whole hour to the band that you're having, you're repping. We're going to have the whole crew on.
Really?
That's what's going on. Yeah, that's going to be a little gift for me, to all of you. So we're going to do that, and hopefully that'll work. We got another little gift, guest this evening. There's a little similarity in experience between our guest, whose name is Adrienne Davis, and what I used to do back in the day. And no one knows where I'm going with this, but I used to be in the headhunting business. I was in it for about 35 years. And when I finally decided to sell my portion of the business, we had 100 employees.
Wow.
And we used the services similar to what our guest is going to represent to everybody across the country tonight. So we're going to introduce Adrienne Davis of ANOVA Human Capital Solutions. Yay! Yay!
Welcome,
crowd roar. That's great.
Welcome to our show.
She has no personality. She doesn't laugh. She's a mugdapus. Welcome, Adrienne. Nice to see you.
Absolutely. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. Yes.
I mentioned that we kind of had similar experiences. You were on the other side of the desk from where I was. You would be the person that I would be speaking to find out about the jobs, to set up appointments, interviews, discuss fees, and payroll questions that would come up, and all those other kind of things. So first of all, tell us, how did you come up with the name ANOVA, and what exactly? We're going to discuss what ANOVA Human Capital does, but what does ANOVA mean? Explain.
ANOVA is basically so it's taken a while to get the name incorporated and just to even think about what the name was going to be. Definitely human capital is making sure that we are treating our employees correctly, creating that employee culture of choice, employer culture of choice. And we want to go ahead and make sure that that is the first thing that we want to assist small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and large businesses with making sure that their capital, they're actually spending enough time with developing and ensuring that their capital, which is the human capital, is evolving and growing with the company. And it's training and developing that is so important. But the name ANOVA is really my innovation. And it could have ANOVA or INNOVA, but it was Adrienne's innovation. And that's what I really wanted to capitalize on, making sure that this was something that was very near and dear to my heart, making sure that we have the employer culture of choice. And that was where ANOVA transpired.
And I can't help, I want to bring all of our audience attention to your sign, because ANOVA in our celestial body and out in the universe, right? And there, right dead center, is the star. it is the North Star to help lead your companies that you assist to finding their North Star and being right spot on. So I applaud you. It's just absolutely stunning.
It's the bright light that when clients and companies, they are needing that extra support, especially small companies that need that extra support, and we're their bright light. We're the North Star that they can come and look up to, so we can give them that guidance. So, and that's really, that logo really transpired and transgressed into this beautiful logo where we are their Northern Star, as you say. Yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Now, your time that you've been in the HR arena, has it been mostly payroll? Is it some payroll? Is it recruiting? Is it benefits? What exactly is the strength, your strength?
Well, it's all the above. With
I knew that was coming.
with experience, 20 years plus of experience in the HR field, becoming an SME in human resources and all metrics is really what we need to be when you're assisting clients, especially whether it's leave management, employee relations, payroll, policy creation, compliance auditing.
Are you familiar with APNI?
With APNI? No.
Association of Personnel Agencies of New York. I was one of the people on it.
Oh, yes. No, I didn't know that.
And Shrum came.
Oh, okay. Got you. No, I didn't know that. Yes.
I got all kinds of hidden secrets.
So tell us, Adrienne, tell us your story. How did you get started? What everybody has, it's almost like they got a passion. And for you to continue all these years, you have to have that. Yeah. So what got you started?
In the HR field?
Yeah.
Tell us when you got out of college, what was the first position that you had coming out of school?
Really was management.
Management of
management a lot. And I loved, to me, it was very exciting taking care of my employees, retaining employees, making sure we treat all employees the way we want to be treated. That was the culture that I created, and that was retail management, which I actually, that was my first position. But I actually evolved and worked into the HR field. I even owned my own company. I had a spa way back yonder. And it was something that I also wanted to still have those kind of values, treat everybody with respect, have that engaging culture where people can grow. So that is really what's very important to me. It's inspiring people to grow, develop, train, lead, and then growing the leadership of tomorrow. And so that is what, that's where I really actually changed and went into the HR field and HR industry, is because I want to use my passion of what I really feel strong about, and then go ahead and help companies to grow that passion so they can retain their talent and not have their talent leave. We want to retain talent, especially in this field or this in this time.
So what do you do to retain? People are always looking for more money. They're looking for an advancement internally. They really don't want to leave. They would, but they want to be liked. They want to be complimented. They don't always, well, what did you do this for? Great job, Adrienne. Great, good. Nice girl.
One thing we really need to do is to really develop effective leaders. Especially right now, I think after COVID, we had a lot of individuals, a lot of leaders leave the field. And right now we've appointed leaders that may not have all the talents and skill sets that they need to be a successful, empathetic leader. Yeah. And so realistically, I feel that have a great culture, create a great culture, appreciate your employees. Yes, especially for some companies, they may not be able to have the never ending price or the never ending compensation. I guess it was basically, I could say, for some of these individuals to remain at the employee, but they want to feel appreciated. They want to feel that they have a mission, and they want to see the company's vision grow, and they want to be part of that vision. They want to feel that sense of purpose. So once they feel that sense of purpose, then they feel that, you know, there's that mission for themselves. They feel valued, and not disillusioned, where if they're feeling disillusioned, then they're going to leave. And so that's number one. Create that culture, create effective leadership, create empathetic leadership, and then just training everybody to grow the company. So as everybody's growing and developing, of course, what's going to ultimately happen is the company's going to become more successful.
Well, a good example, you being in Connecticut, would be Stu Leonard.
Oh, I love Stu Leonard. Yes.
When they first started, he looks at it, what's going on, and he called in his employees. How can and look at how big that company.
After that meeting, the best thing that he ever did was make potato chips.
He makes his own potato chips.
This is not a joke. This is serious. If you ever go to one of Leonard's stores,
okay,
they make homemade potato chips.
They do.
That are absolutely to die for. Now, look where this conversation has gone. We've gone from human resources to employee relations to potato chips.
But it's all the same cycle. It's all the same genre.
He has a very unique store. It got a great bakery in the store too.
Because one of his employees may have suggested that, and now look at it, right? So
they have sweet potato chips. They got regular potato chips. They got hot foods and soups and all kinds of stuff in there, and it's very people friendly.
It is. It's but you're so correct on that. Having everybody utilize their skill sets and their talents to help the company evolve, and that's very important, because that only increases productivity and success of the organization. So especially Leonard's is one of those great places that we all love to go to.
But especially today, I could tell you down here in Florida that there are businesses closing because they can't get people to work.
Yeah.
So
they can't get people to work.
No.
Or maybe if they paid the right amount of money and put out some good employee benefits, they could get some people to work.
Yeah, but they do. There's always ads out there. But Adrienne, with HR, there may be something with that, because what would cause people to not stay? I mean, you have a combination, right? Not only did COVID set the stage, but also you have a whole new generation that has a whole different mindset.
Yes, there's just having this conversation a day before, and think about the 4 generations that are working right now, and how are we actually training and leading these 4 generations as we are at this point in time. So you're correct. You have to be able to, and again, that's where effective leadership comes in. How are you actually training and leading your team when you have the baby boomers, the Gen X, the Gen Z, the millennials? You have all these different generations, and how are you leading your team? And that is just that's one of those big challenges companies are facing at this time.
And how do you? What is some of the suggestions you would make to them because it has to be a diverse environment, right? I mean, you have 4 different generations. So what would be the suggestion you would make to them to encompass all generations without somebody feeling left out?
Just having that inclusive environment. But again, having that inclusive environment where they're all feeling that they have that sense of purpose to help the company. But again, you're going to have to tailor it based on, that particular job and position. And not only that, but what is the organization's culture and, again, mission, vision, and values are. So what are the core values? A lot of companies at this point in time don't even have core values. So it's almost like what we have to do is try to start companies day one with the HR and teaching them, letting them come up with their core values where they have that inclusivity in the workplace. So yes, there's one of the many challenges that we are facing at this time.
So how do you get started if you go into, you evaluate a prospective client and they've been in business a few years and there you could see their turnover rate, okay, Adrienne, and they're struggling. How do you help them establish core values?
Well, first of all, we really need to see. We really start with an employee engagement survey. That's the first step. We want to know what the company and what the employees are actually saying at this time about the company. If the employees are feeling, and we break it down into many different sections, but we start off with training, development, benefits, even onboarding, management, leadership, of course. And we really want to focus on each particular industry. It's basically like the whole employee life cycle. We want to put that apart, and we want to see where the gaps are. And once we are able to see where the gaps are, we actually, again, with our team, we create goals for the company. Where are your gaps? How can we assist you with those gaps? Then again, focusing on those gaps and focusing on where is this company moving forward to? Where does the company want to see themselves in 5 years? Where do you want to grow this company? And again, what is the culture that you want to?
Are these the same kind of questions that you ask all your clients on an initial interview meeting?
Oh gosh, there's a step-by-step methodical approach on that. We do a deep dive for all of our clients when we connect with them. Because again, we want to know want to know what the company is, what they're doing, where they see themselves growing, what are they hiring, what are the benefits they're offering, what are they interested in offering different benefits? I mean, there's so much that Is
there a difference with them calling you to set up an appointment? Hi, Adrienne, my name is Norman, and I've heard so much about you. I'd love to have a sit down with you, versus Adrienne calling the company and saying, by the way, my name is Adrienne Davis. This is what it is that I do. And yet we understand which way you like it.
Yes.
You a potential client calling you because, that's halfway, you're halfway there, because he or she is not calling you for the sake of calling you. They have something in mind, heard about your skills, and they want to talk to you about them.
Right. Especially auditing. But again, going through the deep dive, learning about that company, helping that company creating its values and missions.
You write the employee manuals?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that's one of those, starting from handbook to policy creation to onboarding presentations. We become the client's HR department.
What I was wondering too, I'm interrupting you, and I apologize for that, because I'm not very bright, and when I have the thought, I want to get it while it's hot. Right? Is there a template that people in your world use? You fill in the blanks, because everybody writes an employee manual, and there's an harassment manual, and there's this manual and that manual. Is there a template for all of these, and you just change the numbers and such?
For handbooks?
Yeah.
For handbooks.
For employee hand guides and such.
Only handbooks. We utilize LexisNexis, which is which is federal and state policy mandates that we have to utilize. And each policy that is required and it's mandated has to be written based on the law itself, and all the context from that particular law has to be included in that policy. So when we do create handbooks, yes, we have to follow federal and state mandates and particular policies. We're not even allowed to even edit or revise a policy because that would make us not compliant. So
Adrienne, going with that, you're nationwide, yes?
correct, yes.
So not every state has the same. Federal is across the board, obviously, right? But do you create, you would have to create a one that's unique to that state, to the employees in that state, yeah?
Yes,
Well, there are
correct.
different laws in each state. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
the purpose.
So the reason I'm asking this is I want our audience to have an appreciation for the job that you're bringing to the table, right? What they can provide, what you can provide for them, and there's a lot of work behind it.
There can't be one person to do the whole thing.
Right.
So how many employees might you have in your payroll department? Let's discuss payroll for just 1 second, because we're going to come on. Okay. When you do payroll, there's different types of payroll. I mean, you got your hourly, you got your permanent, you got your whatever. Do you do it? Do you have a staff? How many states are you in?
Right. So we have how our company works is every company has a strategy, or every client has a strategist, HR strategist, and a generalist that supports them. And then if we are processing payroll, they will have a payroll engineer also to support them. So they have dedicated team members that actually support each client, and they are their particular team. It's not like they have 10 million people assisting them. They have the same 3 or 2 members assisting them, each client.
Well, it depends on the size of the company.
It depends. Yeah, exactly. It depends on like the solutions that we're also providing. But most of the time, our full service models, they will have 3 members on that team.
Mm-hmm. So let's look at if you're coming in as HR, you don't do payroll, do you?
Yes, our team does payroll, manage payroll.
That's why I had brought it up.
Yeah.
Yes, manage payroll. So, and we don't offer we don't offer a platform. We utilize our clients' platforms.
Okay.
So if our client is very comfortable with Paychex, I solved.
So wait, so you don't do the full boat? You're not the same as Paychex or some of the major payroll companies?
Right. We actually we work with the client's payroll platform. HCM platform is what it would be called.
What happens if they don't have one?
Oh,
what happens if they process payroll internally?
We go ahead and we shop the most. We shop for the most cost effective and the most efficient platforms for our clients. If they don't want us to handle payroll, we don't have to do that. That's one thing about our company is a little different. We don't have to do everything for our clients. We can tailor solutions. Mm-hmm. So if they want to keep payroll internally and they want to manage their own payroll, that's something that they can do. But if they're looking for somebody to go ahead and say, oh, gosh, I don't want to do this every Monday. Let me have some company help me out and process the payroll. Then that's where we can come in. We'll just assist their team with the payroll.
So I got a loaded question, and I apologize in advance because
she can handle it.
With all the changes coming down, we're standing witness to it. Things are not so black and white anymore. how far in advance are you notified of things that would impact a company from an HR perspective, as in it's not just male and female. I don't know the terminology that would be used, but how would you obviously have to address the different, I don't know how to even say it, transgender, for example. How would you address that with a client? Now that, yeah, I mean, do they tell you the law comes down? Is that a federal law? State law says, oh, you have to have a special bathroom or anything of that nature? Because that's covered under HR, right?
It would be, well, and again, it's different states too.
Okay.
Different states have, again, different compliance laws,
Okay.
right? So we really have to follow what the state's guidance are and what the company really wants. We would like to, if there's a mandate in a particular state based on, like you said, inclusive bathrooms, what I always tell my clients, it's not about a mandate, it's all about a best practice.
Okay.
We want to make sure that, sometimes if there's we don't want to do something because it's mandated. We want to do something because it's a great policy to go ahead and instate.
Sure.
And we want to help out our, not only helping out our leaders, but in making sure that everybody feels comfortable in the workplace and they feel like they're part of a team, because that's all really matters. So, but again, I will let you know, there's a lot of states have different mandates, and one state may not, and I don't want to say this incorrectly, but there's some states out there that don't support so much of DEI, right?
Well, if I want to see what you have to do with manuals and so on, how do I get in touch with you?
Oh, well,
That was a good one.
That was a good segue.
That was good segue.
I really like that question.
So people would call 959-255-8386, 959-255-8386 to reach you. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's good. And now we're going to take a little short break so I can pay the bills.
Okay.
And we will be back shortly and with some more loaded payroll questions and HR questions and all the above. All right, we'll be right back, folks. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friend Entertainment USA. My name is Norman Wasserman. I am also known as the Music Man. Let me just tell you a little bit about Friend Entertainment. We put on concerts for charities, and we do that everywhere from New York to Las Vegas. We do R&B, Motown, rock and roll, jazz, whatever it is that you wish. Friend Entertainment will deliver the best of the best for you and your charity. Here are some of the names of the talent that have performed with us on our stage. Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, The Temptations, Earth, Wind and Fire, the one and only ELO, Elton John himself, Kool and the Gang, and the fabulous Donna Summer. Go to our website, friendentusa.com. That's www.friendentusa.com, or feel free to call us at 631-698-9696. 631-698-9696, and we'll see you at the next show. And if people want to come to the next show, all they got to do is give me a call at 631-698-9696, or if you'd like to discuss doing a concert with me, I'd be more than happy to do that, because that is our business, as well as being on the Business Awareness Hour. 631-698-9696. A side note, we just saw the commercial, and the commercial has me with a beard. And I got a phone call last week asking for information about a concert. And was that really you? Where's your beard? I noticed the beard's gone. So that's what they remember, my beard. So at least they remember something. So that's good. So how do you get your clients, Adrienne? How do you join networking groups? You and run advertisements. What do you do?
Oh, yes. Some networking groups, referrals, um, actually a lot of referrals, but definitely joining networking groups, meeting people. People only want to offer business to people they can trust, right?
Absolutely.
First thing that we have to do is show a company and a client that they can trust us. So what better way of meeting people in person, connecting with people and meeting affiliates, and then having them kind of just refer us. So that's how we get our clients.
So could you tell us an interesting story that you would love to share with our audience?
Sure. So in my years in HR, I've seen some really, I guess I could say, some really ineffective leaders, leaders who really lack that support, who lack the support for their employees, not offering the training and guidance, and not inspiring their employees. Some of these leaders that really caused a lot of poor morale, turnover, and just really, and again, just really had, I guess we could say, just that one kind of manager that everybody was like in fearful of, right?
Sure.
And I've seen a lot of employees in my time where, especially this one particular story, where the individuals and the employees were really afraid to kind of even address her. Everyone walked on eggshells throughout the whole time when they were working, and nobody felt, and there was no camaraderie in the workplace. And that was the one thing that really upset me. And I think this is really coming back to the reason why I really wanted to start this company, was to make sure that there was never going to be a culture like that again. We want to make sure that everybody feels, again, appreciated. Everybody's got their thoughts that they could bring to the table, their talents. You're working with some of these managers who lack that skill set, or have that, I hate to say this, but the power trip. We're never going to have a successful team. You're never going to have a successful business, and you're always going to have turnover. So again, this is really what I wanted to do, is to help companies create effective leaders.
Do you have a situation where you actually can explain to us that you went into company XYZ and this was going on and that was going on, and whatever you did to correct it?
Oh gosh. Yeah. Well, tell you, with that particular company, what we ended up having to do was, again, first thing is engagement surveys, training the managers, even having the leadership retreats, letting them know how other people feel when you are addressing them incorrectly. Looking at those engagement surveys to say, where are we lacking? What is it that where is the company lacking, the team lacking? Where's the camaraderie, and how are we going to help this situation be better? So again, we utilized employee engagement surveys to see where our gaps were. We went ahead and we had leadership retreats to kind of boost the morale, boost the camaraderie, and sometimes even letting the leaders know, when you're a team that works together, they're going to stay together pretty much. And then having mentorship programs and instilling the mentorship programs for the team. So they always feel that there was that extra support there for them. So especially when we had a new hire, they didn't feel that they're outthrown to the wolves. So that is something that we actually did to kind of change that kind of culture around.
So let me ask you a question. Onboarding, for those of us that are not aware of what is onboarding.
Onboarding is so again, that's one of our services that we provide, especially for example, right now we have a lot of companies that are in the Northeast getting ready to snow. So they're hiring all like their ski instructors, getting ready to hire snowplow operators. So they're getting ready. This is their busy season. So we're going to go ahead and help those companies to start onboarding those employees. So what we do is we actually create presentations to showcase what the company's policies are, the benefits are, and training guides. We help those companies start from their application, making sure everything is correct, all the way to job description, to all the policies, the handbook, as you say, integrate everything, hopefully in a platform, and no more paper. I don't know how people are still stuck in paper, and we love to integrate companies who don't have a platform.
But isn't onboarding also testing? They're watching videos and answering questions, and until you get them right, you do it until you get it right, and it could take hours. And I've been through that, and I've done that. I know a lot of people that have done the same. Again, like we were in the same business. Now, back when I did, it wasn't as sophisticated and up to date, computerized as it is now. All right, but now it's you can't get through that door unless you're taking these tests.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's lots of training developing, and especially in different states, there are going and particular positions. You may have to be OSHA certified. You may have to take sexual harassment training. You may have to take bloodborne pathogens. There's so many different based on particular states and position. There's particular training that the new hires actually have to take, and then we like to go ahead and create training based on that new. The position. They have to shadow their particular supervisor. They just can't just start. Somebody's got to train them. So yes, we create a new employee training program for those employees, starting day one. What is it like when you enter the door? All the way to 1 week, 2 weeks later, to 45, 90 days later, when you're having your 90-day check-in, your evaluation, just to say, hey, how's it going? And that's really what's important. So a great onboarding is the success of a new employee starting and remaining with the company.
So is 90 days the average for to get your evaluation? So yeah, it's like, okay, let me go and start this job, and then in 90 days they call me in to say whether I'm going to make it or not. So you're kind of like on probation, I guess. Is that? They still use that word?
If you're there 90 days, the odds are of you leaving are not you're going to have a job.
You're right. We call it an introductory period. We don't.
It used to go on though. And Adrienne, see if you can remember this. When I would place somebody in a position, there was normally a guarantee period. There was a 30-day guarantee, 60 or 90. A very, 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 very famous, well-known international financial institution used to play a game, which wasn't so funny to people like me, that they would give you, it would be a 90-day guarantee. And on the 89th day, they were going to call you and let you know, well, Susie Q and Tommy D, they're not working out so well, so we're going to be letting them go. Oh, and by the way, they have to give 2 weeks notice. Whoa, no. You didn't pay the fee for these people. If you're going to keep them, you're going to let them go today, because if they're at work tomorrow, you're going to get a lawsuit.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had to stand up to these people. Well, no, I don't know. Well, you'll never deal with us again. Why would I want to deal with you if you're letting people go on the 89th out of a 90-day guarantee?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can keep your big name financial company, and I will take people from your company and I'll put them in your competition.
Yes. There you go.
Because I was a recruiter, and that's what a recruiter would go into.
Mhm.
No, that's no. And 90 days realistically is just it
It's
can
a
be an
form
average. 6 months can be an average. I mean, it really takes a good 6 months to really get your feet wet in the position. 90 days, you're really still learning and transitioning. How can you really learn your whole position in 90 days? But in 90 days, we either know you're going to make it or not. And if you don't make it, or if we don't think you're ready to make it and move forward with the company, not that I'm saying this always, but it's best for everybody just to kind of part ways, So,
But you
but
could see potential,
you
though.
can definitely see the potential but we also want to make sure that that employee has all this tools to be successful in their position.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's very important as well.
Do you have any upcoming events that you'll be out and about in the Connecticut area?
We actually just had our Connecticut paid sick leave training last week. We always have a lot of training going on. So just check our check or like us on LinkedIn and Facebook, and then you'll be able to see anything that is coming up. I know we have a new end of year training coming up. Is the end of year checklist that is very important for a lot of companies to know what do they need to do before the end of the year, whether it's HR or payroll or taxes.
No, that's very important.
All the above.
That's a very important thing that you're talking about.
Oh yes.
I mean, it's like your own personal business that you do at home. You want to make sure that everything's ready for your taxes, and anything that you have to file before the 31st of December.
Yes.
It's an important thing to do, and that's part of what you instruct them about also, correct?
Oh yes, absolutely. So that'll be coming out. That new employee checklist will be coming out, and the training will be next month.
What inspired you to start ANOVA Capital Solutions and making a difference with other HR providers?
Again, I really wanted to create a company where businesses just didn't feel like they were outsourcing HR. I really wanted to provide a solution for companies that we are your HR team. We assist your employees. We help your employees. We talk to your employees. And that's really what kind of sets us apart from other companies. We want to grow with our companies. We want to grow with our clients when we want to encompass their culture. So that's really why, I just thought it was the opportunity to go ahead and have more of a hands-on approach, tailoring services to our clients' needs. But again, just making sure that we are just like one team, not an extension.
Oh, it's important for you. These business owners and such. I mean, I don't know what size companies you're referring to, but they have friends in same industry. They have friends in different industries. Well, by the way, who does your payroll? Who does your HR work? I mean, if they're pleased and they're happy with you, okay, they're going to mention your name, and that's I'm sure an important way for you. That's a great way for you to get referrals and get deals. It's the same thing for me. If I do a good concert for somebody, and they got quite a bit of awareness and they got a bunch of revenue. All right. It's going to, not only am I going to get their business again for the next show, they're going to recommend me to other people, and they're going to be people sitting in the audience, or they could be employees that are going to start out on their own and start a business. They want to take you along with them so you can get them started and off right on the right foot.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, HR's got to start. It's as soon as you are getting ready to hire your first employee, you need to have all your ducks in a row. You need to make sure you have all the documents prepared. You need to make sure how are you onboarding that individual. You want to make sure you have policies for that individual to follow, and if you're going to offer them benefits. So you're so correct. I mean, HR is not just policies and procedures. It's just it's just the way.
You ever take residence within one of your clients?
Say that again.
You ever take residence within one of your clients? Do they give you office space so that you can fulfill whatever it is you're doing versus you running back and forth?
Oh, well, so a lot of our work is remote, but we do go to our clients often, and especially when we are conducting audits, and they let us have space where we can go ahead and work doing our looking through the personnel records and such like that.
Mm-hmm.
There are some very, very, very common HR challenges that small, medium-sized clients have to meet. And how does ANOVA handle all of this?
Wow.
Hey, you wanted to be on the show, girl.
No, it's true. I mean, a lot of our small clients or small businesses, mediums, actually all businesses, they all struggle. A lot of them are balancing compliance and employee engagement, growth, turnover, retention, training development, leadership development. And what we do, again, we want to make sure we have we want to have a business solution that is just not one size that fits all. We wanted to make sure that we can tailor our solutions. So maybe they're 10 employees, maybe maybe they're in Florida, they may not have a leave. They don't follow FMLA, or they don't have a Florida family medical leave policy that they have to follow. Maybe they don't need leave management. Maybe they just need only basic HR compliance and onboarding. And so we can tailor solutions for those clients. And we want to make sure that we want to assist those clients when they do have like any compliance issues, any employee relation issues. We can go ahead and help them with like managing the employee relations, managing those workplace conflicts, and which can be really overwhelming. So we kind of tailor our solutions so we can either be their full HR department, or we could be a partner.
Is it hard to integrate into a client's company culture?
No,
Not at all.
Not for Adrienne, it's not.
Because what we want to do is we want to help that company create that utmost beautiful employee culture that it's employer choice, So we want to help. It's very exciting for us, especially when we get into a new client, because it's like they may already be that employer of choice, and they just may need that maintenance, right? But it's just like starting a new job. We're an HR team. We're all professionals. And that's one thing we love about our job, is that the various industries that we are in, it's almost like you're starting a new job again, and you're just meeting a whole new team, and it's like starting a day one. And
here's a question. You mentioned something, different industries, but do you have a specialty industry that you're known to help companies with their HR? Is it possibly retail? Is it medical practices? Do you have any particular industry, or it doesn't really matter?
It doesn't matter. And that's
good answer.
Why we are, or the difference of us, because we have SMEs who have experience in all industries and in all states and even in all municipalities. So of course, as we all know, California is one of those states that has, even the municipalities have different compliance laws and mandates. But we have we have the SMEs, these smart expert matter subjects. They are the ones who, we can expand we can work with any industry.
Mhm. But that's why it's important for our audience to know the work that goes behind that, because it's not a one size fits all.
No.
You have all these different cultures, right? You may have resistance, right, from some of the places you go
Well, you
into.
got you got different personalities. Everybody
Absolutely.
has, the head management people. They have different personalities in one company that they do in another company, even though their industries are the same.
Hmm.
Yes, you're very correct. And again, our goal is to give business owners peace of mind so they can focus on what they do best which is their business, and we will focus on their HR. Yes.
How
So
do you ensure that ANOVA's solutions
Mm.
are tailored to meet the needs of different industry? How do you stay on top of that? Because, like you said, things
Mm.
change every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day, a lot of work, a lot of reading, a lot of studying mandates, making sure we are on top of it. We are always on top of our ever growing mandates. We're always, let me tell you, there's new laws that are always evolving. So we just have to be on top of them. We are always training. We're always looking at the different mandates that come down,
Mhm.
especially based on where our clients are and where they're
Here's a
evolving.
good one for you.
Mm.
How do you keep your employees up to snuff?
Oh, for definitely.
No, for you, your employees. You're running a business. You have people. You have situations within your company. How do you keep them on top of everything?
The same thing. We have a great platform that we utilize,
Good.
and it is it is it is a platform that as soon as a mandate comes down a pike, we are notified immediately.
Mm.
And that's what you need to have when you're working based in all states. So it's a great guide and a resource for all of our employees. I do expect our team to go ahead and to actually look at that every day. We do go ahead and train, lots of training that's evolving throughout the whole time. But even training the generalists to kind of like growing their positions so they become the strategists moving forward. So it's ever evolving, it's always training, and that's why we always have a strategist and a senior consultant level to
Mhm.
support the clients, and then having the generalists to support the senior HR consultants. The strategists is what I call them,
Mhm.
because they're growing and it's always evolving. So when they get up to speed, then they can start assisting with clients on their own and they can grow into the next level.
Is there one industry that you enjoy working in and then another?
Um, Not particularly. I really, I mean, I like nonprofits. I love livery. I have a great client who is in livery. They're very family oriented, and I just love being with them. Definitely love the school and like daycare. Excuse me. And realistically, even manufacturing, restaurants, tech startups, it doesn't really kind of matter. It's like we become family with our clients, and
Mhm.
that's what really is important to us, and that's really why I love what I do.
Is there an industry that you're not in that you would love to get in?
Hmm. I gotta think about that.
We got 6 minutes. You take your time.
Yeah. Hmm. Um.
Okay, the answer is no. You love everybody, and you want to do it. Like
I,
that's it.
I mean, that was a question. Yeah, I think it'd be a little. I don't know. I don't know the answer. Sorry. Let me think about it.
That's okay. You're just open to helping anybody.
And that's the way it is, and that's the good, correct answer.
Yeah.
I mean, I like people, and
Mhm.
people make up all kinds of businesses and industries and yada yada. And I would love to help as many people as I could. And if you need to reach me, you call.
What's your number, Adrian?
What's your number?
959 255 8386.
Can you repeat that number again?
Sure. Yes. 959 255 8386.
And they ask for, who do they ask for when they call?
Well, they can ask for Adrienne Davis.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I have a question. Is there any minimum employees or
I was going to do that question. You stole that from me.
I know.
You did.
I saw the
Yeah,
thought
absolutely.
process.
That's a. I was going to do that question. It was a great question.
Realistically, if it's a small company just starting off, I mean, we're fine to go ahead and support them. We're going to want to start that company off right, so when they grow, they're growing right in the right direction. But we do have a sweet spot, and I would say 25 plus.
Okay. So that's good.
But you would entertain talking to companies with less employees and such, right?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. We just actually had a new client start a couple weeks back, and they have 6 employees, and then they have 6 temporaries. So yeah, absolutely, we will assist them because they're growing too. And that's one thing they just need support with their compliance. So
We're getting towards the witching hour, as in show's almost over.
okay.
So we're going to ask one more question, and then we're going to ask you if you choose to say a few words and about your business and why people should call you and at least check you out. They don't necessarily have to hire you, but they should find out about who you are and what you are,
Mhm.
and this, because you present great. I would love to work with you. I mean, the awareness that you're kicking out there to the public should be huge.
Yes.
Absolutely. So my question is, what's one piece of advice that you can give to business owners looking to improve HR practice besides calling ANOVA? Because that's a given. So we're going to call ANOVA to do that. But what's that one piece of advice that you would put out there?
So my advice for companies would be to see HR as a foundation for growth and not just a function of what you have to do for compliance means. When you prioritize taking care of your team, your employees, it really pays off, because what you're ultimately doing is helping your business become successful. Your team becomes successful. It's an investment in the people that are working for you. And when you invest in people, they give back.
There you go.
Very good.
So now your finishing statement for the evening. Why should people call ANOVA, all right, and speak with you and have a conversation? Don't hire, but have the conversation. What do you got that somebody else doesn't have?
Me.
Adrienne.
Right. Exactly right. Because you care. You care.
Yes, we do. We take things very personal. That was one thing I've heard before. Don't take things personal. Don't take things personal when your other colleagues make a mistake. And I'm like, don't you dare ever say that to me. We take things personal for us.
That's right. Don't tell me I shouldn't do that.
Yes. We want to make sure we offer excellent service to our clients. We want to give them everything, all the support that they need to be successful and have that great culture for their employees. But realistically, we do. That's what we want. We create that family dynamic, regardless of what size the company is and who we're working with. We have those meaningful relationships, but we're making sure everything is done right. And that's one thing that other companies don't do is they have colleagues who are working in some of these big PEOs, these big companies where they offer HR, payroll, and benefits. And guess what? They're handling 150 EIN codes or 150 companies. That's not doing it right. And that's where you're not being that's where you're being underserved. And for me, I want to make sure I take care of my clients the right way.
Very good.
And for that, they're going to call 959-255-8386. They're going to call 959-255-8386. And they're going to ask for Adrienne Davis, and they're going to say that Norman and Linda sent me.
Yes, that would be great.
Is that it? Okay, that's it. So we thank you so much.
Yeah. Yes,
for being
Adrienne,
on the
it's been a
show tonight.
pleasure. Thank you.
And you were worried. What were you worried about? Nothing to worry about. So we want to thank you again for being here, and hopefully you'll come back in a few months. We're starting to get people making second and third trips, so hopefully we'll get you back here, again. And we wish that you have a great weekend. And everyone that's tuned in, I hope you had a great time tonight. And you can call Adrienne at 959-255-8386, and have a great weekend, everybody. And we will see you on